The summer evening pulsed with the scent of sizzling meat and smoldering charcoal. It was my birthday, though you'd never guess it from the way the night unfolded. Our backyard was dressed up for the occasion, strung with fairy lights that blinked gently overhead like indifferent stars. Conversations buzzed, laughter rolled easily, and the grill hissed under Eric's watch, my longtime friend and self-appointed chef for the night. I stood near the fire pit, nursing a drink I didn't care to finish. Plates clattered, someone dropped a glass, and yet it all felt like it was happening behind a pane of thick glass. Disconnected. Across the yard my wife, no, my ex-wife now, stood poised beside a wooden serving table. Her name was Lauren. She wore a pale green dress, one she used to say made her feel youthful. A glass of gin shimmered in her hand, catching the glow of the lights. Her eyes found mine. Dark, glassy. And then came the line, flippant and cruel, flung like broken glass. If you vanished tomorrow, I wouldn't even care. A pause. Then a wave of laughter swelled around us. People mistook it for a roast, the kind of dark joke couples make when they're too comfortable or too tired to care. The guests chuckled, clinked glasses, carried on. I didn't laugh. I lifted my hot dog like a wine glass, held her gaze and said, "Let's see if you mean that." They all thought I was playing along, tossing a witty quip back at the queen of sarcasm. I wasn't. That night, as music thumped through the speakers and drunken conversations swirled like mist, I slipped away. I didn't make a scene. I didn't announce my exit. I didn't even turn off the lights. I packed a single bag. Just essentials. No mementos, no tokens. I left my phone face down on the nightstand, its screen lit up with unread messages I would never answer. By sunrise I was gone. Lauren and I had shared 12 years, 10 of them married. 7 of those spent convincing myself that things would get better. That she'd return to the version of herself who used to write me poems about morning light on coffee mugs, about inside jokes scribbled on post-it notes. But that tenderness had long withered. Her affection turned transactional, replaced by grocery lists and calendar reminders. The signs had been there, subtle but unmistakable. Missed calls, glances that slid through me like I wasn't there. Passwords quietly changed. I didn't need a private investigator. Just a heart that finally stopped making excuses. Her birthday comment sealed it. Not just the words but the delivery. The way she looked past me like I was background furniture she regretted buying. They called it a joke. Called it clarity. 3 months before that barbecue, I'd noticed something odd in a photo Lauren posted online. Her sunglasses reflected the face of a man standing just behind her. Stranger. Most people wouldn't have noticed. I did. From that moment on, I began planning. Quietly. Methodically. I stopped initiating texts. I stopped asking where she was going. I became a ghost in my own life, careful not to raise alarm. I waited for the right moment. The day before the party, I emptied our joint account. Not in anger but with surgical precision. Every cent that was legally mine, backed by saved documents, account statements, even the prenup she once dismissed as unromantic. I didn't just disappear. I carved out a new life. A cabin in a quiet town, nestled near a lake that shimmered with morning mist. Pine trees surrounded the property, and for the first time in years, the air didn't taste like tension. Cut my hair short, let a beard grow in. Got used to silence again, not the cold silence of a distant partner, but the kind that heals. From afar I watched Lauren's world unravel. Without the steady husband, her curated life began to splinter. The man I'd seen in the reflection. He wasn't looking for a family. He was chasing a thrill. Once he realized Lauren came with 2 children, a mortgage and dwindling finances, he disappeared. 6 weeks was all it took. She went online, posted teary messages. Claimed I'd had a breakdown. That I'd abandoned her and the kids. That she was heartbroken, blindsided. People believed her. Course they did. She was always good at playing the victim. But what they didn't know was that her story didn't line up with the facts. Not even close. Kept my silence. Because silence is louder than lies. 1 year to the day after I vanished, I sent her a package. Inside was a simple card. My handwriting deliberate and steady. Happy anniversary of not caring. Beneath it was a copy of the house deed, signed over to her, free and clear. No strings attached. And a USB drive. The drive was meticulous. It began with a clip from the birthday party. Her smirking, eyes cold, saying that line in front of everyone. Then came grainy security camera footage. Her and the other man in our kitchen, kissing just feet away from the untouched birthday cake. The last frame was her phone, screen recording of the texts and emails she'd sent him. Flirtation. Planning. Betrayal typed out in plain sight. The final piece was a voice recording me. You said you wouldn't care if I vanished. So I did. While you laughed, I rebuilt. I left you everything except myself. I didn't just send it to her. I sent copies to her parents, our mutual friends, even the principal of the school where she volunteered. I removed every mask she wore, one by one. 2 weeks later, a letter arrived. Her handwriting messy, frantic. Why would you ruin me? We could have fixed this. You didn't have to destroy everything. But I did. Because ghosts don't just vanish. Sometimes they return, not to beg but to haunt. To make you feel the absence you once mocked. She lost friends. Lost credibility. Her curated persona crumbled. The school board let her go quietly. Her parents stopped defending her. Even her sister, once her closest ally, told me she should have known better. And me. Found peace. Not loud, not cinematic. Just stillness. I still see my children. She tried to block me, but the courts saw through her performance. They valued facts over crocodile tears. They saw how I left without rage, without malice. Only resolve. I don't hate her. Truthfully, I barely think of her. But sometimes, when wind carries the sound of distant laughter across the lake, I remember her voice at the party. Thoughtless. If you vanished tomorrow, I wouldn't even care. And I smile. Because she felt every second of my absence. Disappearing isn't weakness. It's precision. It's a scalpel when yelling would be a hammer. And in walking away, I didn't just escape. I made her understand the weight of what she lost. That was my revenge. And it was silent,